And commissioners, your meeting is live.
Oh, wait a minute, it's 30. Good morning. Welcome to the December 8th meeting of Riley County Commission. Please stand and join in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comments. Break all 3 minutes.
3 minutes, is that correct? Okay. Okay, good morning. I'm Betty Mattingly Ebert, and I live here in Manhattan. Over the weekend, I sent the 3 commissioners an email. And just in case you didn't have the opportunity to read that, I'm going to read it now, also so everyone here can hear it. Okay, let's see. Okay, after reviewing the proposed 2026 salary increases, I was surprised to see that the amount is nearly double the cost of living increase which Social Security recipients will receive. The amount is also nearly double the current rate of inflation. Please consider the ramifications this and future salary increases of this magnitude on the seniors and those of lower incomes in our county. I do hope you will not support this increase for administration. If you do, I expect you to explain your reasoning to the community. After last year's increase and then the proposed increase of this year, the administration will receive nearly 13% increase or 12% increase, if I'm correct. That is way out of line with the federal cost of living updates and the inflation rates. So I truly hope you reconsider this 5.8 increase, at least for the administration. If hourly employees need raises, that's to be expected. But when you're making more than your average salary that's in Riley County, that needs to be reconsidered. So, thank you.
Good morning, commissioners. My name is Gary Oles. I live in the county, specifically in the city at 3308 Frontier Circle. And I'm here to respond or discuss the resolution that doesn't have a number until after it's approved. But I like the fact that it's resolution no. Levity this morning. I have a handout for you, but I don't want to give that until my time is up because I've been told that if you do that when you're talking, people go to the handout and they start looking at it. So I don't want to do that. I'm here to address or follow up on what Betty said. She, as you know, is the chairman of the Republican Party here in Riley County. And I got to tell you, for all the Republicans that are on this elected officials here in Riley County, this salary increase, once again, is very disappointing. This commission or commissioners did the same thing last year in terms of the increase. As you know, You could say that, well, it's in the budget. That doesn't mean you have to spend it. In fact, it's my understanding that every year, who knows how many years, typically, even though you budget the money or you're authorized to spend it for the entire budget, you don't spend it. You come in at 95% or 90% or whatever you do. In fact, I think you're going to talk about that today with Brittany in terms of where you are in the numbers. So you don't have to spend it, which means you also don't have to give the raises. I'm not here to talk about you individually because I think you're good people. I really do. I think you do your best. You do you take the information that you get, you weigh it, and you have to make a decision. But I want to talk about the positions. The compensation for these positions, you can call them market, but you're only going to compare that to Johnson County. Because you look at the other counties and no, that's not the compensation according to the internet, if that's valid or invalid. If it's not valid, I'd like to see the data. But we're 14% over the national average, average compensation, median salary, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to remind you, elections have consequences. I think you know that. I think you very much know that. And as I said to the city commission after the election, I want to remind you of the May of 1984 Twisted Sister song that says, we're not going to take it. No, we ain't going to take it. We're not going to take it anymore. That's just the reality. Elections matter. And if you can't get the spending, particularly the compensation under control, we're going to work on the same thing in 2 years or this year with regards to getting people in here and get the expenses to the taxpayers down. I don't want you to deflect to how bad the city is or how expensive the school district is. You do your best and we do appreciate it. And it's not an easy job. Thank you.
Thanks. You have public comments? Okay. So pulled up here. Let's see, starting on Thursday evening, I attended the Tri-Valley chapter of the Kansas Society of Professional Engineers Annual Legislative Night at the Sunset Zoo. It was great once again to get caught up on all the issues and challenges that are facing the engineering sector and to catch up with some of the area local officials once again as well. There wasn't anybody from the state this time around. Kind of caught me by surprise, but is what it is, I guess. Friday afternoon, had a Zoom call with members of Pawnee Mental Health and their foundation board to discuss the building over at Claflin, some possible options for the building moving forward that will work to maintain the services the organization is providing and needing to provide. That'll be coming our way at some point in time, I guess. Also on Friday, I met with Trent Armbrust out of the K-State Foundation to discuss in further depth the Edge District project. The phase 3 with the Champions Gate project, went through some numbers and figures, some of the scope of the project will be. There'll be more to come on that one too, moving forward. Also on Friday, I did watch the introductory press conference for the K-State football head coach, Colin Klein. Pretty quick turnaround, but I do think we've got our guy long-term and certainly glad to have him and his family back home. I also want to wish our former coach, Chris Kleiman, all the best. His future endeavors as well as he's retired from the profession, at least temporarily. And then most of the weekend, just catching up on some stuff at home after Thanksgiving. Watched Jacksonville win yesterday, take over first place in the AFC South, all by themselves. So sorry, Chiefs fans. I guess it was going to happen at some point in time. So, anyway, that's all I got this morning.
Okay, well, Thursday, I was downtown, had several appointments to attend to. Friday afternoon, I attended the pre-law board meeting, the RCPD. Several changes to the draft agenda were made, some on insurance coverage, another discussion on the animal control officers, the shelter budget for 2026. So that's going to be coming up. Couple weeks. Chairman Matter will still be on the board in January until his term is up, and then it'll be replaced by another city commissioner appointment. So all citizen appointments are filled by both the city and the county through 26. So it'll be interesting to see who they appoint. Friday evening, I attended the Christmas parade lights. And there I saw Greg along, was having fun. Was able to ride on bumper truck number 112 through the parade, and the guys were great. I really enjoyed it. Any complaints about the horn being hot to me, that was my fault. So I didn't. It's big. I went, when the kids on the side do that, I did it. It was a foot control, so it's. Anyway, there was a lot of fun, and there were a lot of people out. It was a nasty night, but there were a lot of people, which is great. I was surprised it went down through downtown, not Points, with all the construction. We made it, but. Okay, Saturday I ventured out to do a little holiday shopping, but that didn't last too long, so I'll have to go back when it's less busy. A lot of people out. Sunday, our bell choir played with the regular choir for a special Christmas lessons and carol service. So that took a lot of the day. Later, I reviewed our agenda and documents for today's meetings and several discussions with constituents on today's salary resolution before us later. That's all I've got.
Well, last Thursday evening, we attended the holiday reception at President Lindy's house. And that was nice, but it's just crowded. They had a lot of people here. And talked with President Linton about the changes in football this week, about how a lot going on. But I was able to have a good discussion with two of the new city commissioners that were there. That was good. Get to know them better. Friday, I attended the introductory press conference for Coach Klein. There was a large crowd, and people are excited to have him back. And then after that, we went down and watched the lighter parade. So Catherine was in it. Vivian was on the old fire truck in the city. Broke her arm waving so much. And then Saturday, we attended the K-State men's basketball. The highlight was Klein speaking at halftime. And that's all I had.
Under business commissioners? Yeah. First, I need a motion to approve the Riley County action form for Duluth Wagner as the human intake officer separation of service.
I would make a motion to approve the requested employee action.
A second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the payroll, or approve the employee action form. All in favor?
Aye.
All three, please sign. That printed it on like a piece of cardboard. I grabbed it and feel like.
Feels like it's about 3.
Yeah, it does. Agree. Would y'all like to go to the policy breakfast?
You
Next week.
Give them the exact date.
Be the 18th.
18th.
Yeah. Do they have who's speaking?
I believe it's Dick Carter.
Oh, yeah, it is Dick Carter. Legislation.
Yeah.
You want to go, Jacob?
Yeah.
Any topics for the joint city county meeting commissioners?
At this point,
I don't have anything.
have we got anything from the city?
Need a motion, commissioners, on the payroll and account payable.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll and accounts payable.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to approve the payroll and accounts payable. All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions on the minutes, commissioners?
I didn't have anything.
Well, I would make a motion to approve the minutes of December 4th, 2025 as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the December 4th meeting as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Of the tentative agendas with commissioners,
Good.
any items for next week's press conference? Okay. Next, commissioners on the year-to-date budget reports. Morning, Keith. Good morning, Keith. Morning. Busy tomorrow. Oh, your college is actually. When it's high, go over. It's Friday. They very want to say. We lose one by December. I was gonna live a big goal. Probably, so let's get excited. Because you're not gonna add anything. I can only put my sword down to the heart. Go down, start going. It is. Where you got it's almost just coming out of there. We've not been done here. Yeah. Yeah. Just on this. Problem. Yeah. It's not like we're going to stay in the so. German, obviously. Yeah, I heard $300. Whichever came in, got paid a job, this is director, 2013. And it was that another year. Yeah, and I said that and us. We got for a no, the guy who used to be in the I don't know. He just disappeared. It wasn't like Dave Lewis where he got the big sin. Yeah, I think it was. I think it was. Yeah, well, I saw his LinkedIn and I'm proud of it. There's nothing happening. That's why I didn't know. Yeah, I thought it was this year, so. I know Troy just a little bit, based on friends, but I never worked with them directly. We've done some PA stuff, together, same sports and stuff like that. I do PA and some more stage open basketball up to like carry on some volleyball for years, right? So we've started volleyball in 122. This is being acquired. Really sense of competition house. Otherwise, it's stay home to that. So what were you doing in radio prior to Cayman? I went to KU, graduated in 2002. Then what sports radio guys do is they go on to Santander, like experience. I lived in high line, Central Iowa for about 5 years. Download him from well, then I was one. He's supposed to Mesa City. Didn't say yes, so yeah, there you go. I'm familiar with the French. It's one of my the world. Are you from? And you didn't say Illinois. Well, I know that's a part of the city. That's great to say that. Yeah, it's kind of low incidence. It's you get supers, then it is not McPherson there. First, because there is no fear. Yeah. Is that where you're from? McPherson? No, Junction. Okay, other side of the river. Okay, but we used to play them back in the Sunday school. Sure. When you're back, where do you go? Are you retired now? No, we have rentals. Okay, I've had rentals for probably 14
25 years. And I was in sales. I worked for, and back in Manhattan, I worked for Kansas Cellular.
Very good.
So since
I know some great people more,
90%.
I'm
I worked for them in Southeast Kansas,
going to call all of these.
visiting the agent.
I did.
So
No, they're renovating.
and then they ended up at the regional center. Until they gave you.
Yeah.
Mid-play again.
They got bought by hotel authority. So hotel got bought.
They lost the bowling.
My God.
You know,
The Spurs.
they couldn't make it. They sure drive.
Creative selling.
Therefore, all that.
Consolidation.
See, Paul couldn't.
I'm gonna put like seven. Yeah, no.
Teams.
And I,
He ended up selling it.
A lot of other teams. This year.
And then.
I've heard it everywhere.
yeah.
So actually, if we're selling our advertising agents.
And I feel that start that looked like. Yeah, I mean, but again, they floodgates, I work at. So now they're back to just standing around.
Yeah.
Decades later.
Yeah, this is something.
Crazy.
Oh,
Yes.
It's just like, it's more a couple minutes there, he's, manage. I said.
Yeah.
Who's around? Hey, you might have around, and I said, you're not like in a bottle.
Well, he had.
Sales and
Johnson was thinking that's.
It was interesting.
PJ, team was out there, second team, they predicted his first team this year.
Supervision and.
He lost his game.
President
He did.
announced they sold Centel out of Chicago.
He's missing the shot, the defender's not in front of him.
And I kid you not, it was
When he
like
started,
5 years.
drives in the middle, he loses the ball, slips off all that sort of.
Centel's.
Throws it up. That's, you know, it doesn't look like the same guy that painted the first.
He doesn't look the same fashion as the first.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
You know.
You buy us because they need the money to finish the.
The house was today, a lot of money. It's your house.
So they needed the money for that and then they acquired them with like.
Yeah.
You know, you and I were on a
You
vacation.
know, really, maybe you see some different with this last game.
Oh, yeah.
So that's interesting. That's, I was saying, you know, you don't practically say that.
It's for Rob.
It's for Rob.
I'm part of the.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna consider.
Tonight or tomorrow.
For sure. Very, very ready to kind of a. One of our. Stay.
Then I would not,
7,
seven.
Mississippi Valley State.
Well, we're gonna have.
Channel it's on?
The playoff.
What channel?
It's probably on ESPN Plus, probably.
I don't know nothing better.
Are they,
Thanks for something.
really competitive at all Saturday?
They don't.
Really see ball?
And then the last time I got a fire started,
You couldn't make a basket.
Basically. Yeah, how much of the.
I heard you could make one.
And then, if outlined it exactly what you could live.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we scored 71 points, but in today's game, everybody's scoring 80 and.
Yeah. It seems like unfortunately we're not been playing much games.
You know, like, that's what he's saying, you know, defense wasn't good, but the defense wasn't good when it started, but the offense was, but now the offense has gotten the same infection or whatever the defense, I guess they can't do it at that end either.
These seat balls gonna be pretty good. I would agree, you know?
Listen to the stop.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Yeah.
Well, and.
Like I said, tonight they played Mississippi Valley State, and that's another one.
That's always like a gift of a game, I suppose, so that they can play.
Looks like KU's and.
Get some confidence in it or something.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but all the airports, they have somebody else that has one conference on it. Whatever it is that's still on.
Yeah, there are a few more games.
Yeah, I think we'll get this out. At least one more, maybe a great. Set it up. Women on that, absolutely.
Yeah.
We get that one. There's a lot of.
Rick, you should have pointed on merchant. The word manner.
Word manor.
Yeah, we get that plant to the ambulance center. I know what's going on back there. By the dumpsters,
Yeah. That whole row of trees.
so I had to get rid of, you should never plant. Right? They like to die.
No.
Hope we kept our receipts.
No,
Oh,
nobody's told me about it, don't know about it now.
no, they know about it.
They do know about it. Well, I didn't know about it.
Oh.
The bad blood. Please cut them off
Oh.
before, just get them cut off and then we'll replace them when we can, get them cut off, it looks bad. They'll be cut off this week.
Okay.
Can be.
The problem is we can plant a container and there's so much free pop, they can't do nothing.
Oh.
There's so much pop beside the container. We've got all the these things, it's been about to go up all. I'll suggest to find something else there. Anything. My favorite plant is Allegheny by Vernon, so. By Vernon, where it's been the winter, you can share it over there, that's really thought it. It's a nice tree plant. About 6 foot tall.
You should get this advice in the woods.
So what you do, if you don't like your neighbors, you plant Allegheny, and think they got through, and you put the phony bushes behind them. So if they think they're through the nice stuff, and you get them with the phony bushes, and they'll come back in your yard.
Oh, I need some of that.
That's why I live in the country.
I've got to have some of that from my neighbor.
I do ask if my neighbor with my onions on, nobody says anything. That's why.
I was just gonna ask.
Just hold on.
Some-
Except the NSA, they're laughing.
Our commission meetings are PG, Mr. Westbrook.
Oh,
Partially goofy.
Yes.
the land was the right one. I think my dad gave me the house in the spot. Yeah, my grandkids call it money back. That's what they call crowd.
Their kids will call you that too.
Well, you come down and give them like $30 when they're going on vacation. This money back's coming back.
He gets around pretty good.
He does. Well, he invented copper wire. While he's 90, so he invented copper wire. Like Trevor in the bed.
That's good. Told me stories about when he became a commissioner, things he went through. So,
He was a Rosie Rigger and Margaret Morris.
Mhm.
And Dan Meyer was on the county engineer at that time. It was quite a combination.
yeah, sounded like it. He was telling me some stories.
We said they go out and do road and bridges and then you looking at them, they'd be doing recipe cards in the back seat. Talking about recipes and good.
That'd be Dan Harden.
Dan Hart, yes.
Dan Meyer was county counselor that was on contract.
Can we get back
At least someone can be here to keep your history straight.
Yeah, right.
Dan somebody.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rich Varga, Riley County Clerk. First report we have is 2025 year-to-date wages and overtime compared to budget report. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, we're at 91.67 point time of the year. How did we get there so fast? I do not know. You can see those departments in the far right that are highlighted in the red that are over that just a little bit. That's just on their salary and benefits information should round out by the end of the year. Also like to look at the center column, the percent of overtime compared to wages, and past that from time to time can be a concern. Is not currently, of course, the one that catches everyone's attention is EMS ambulance 42.49, but all of that is budgeted because of their 24/7, 365 days a year service. So that is not unanticipated, as you can see, as they're staying within their budget of 87.09. What typically happens, it can cause some concern, is storms, solid waste, public works, how that can impact them. Everything's really good now, knock on wood, because we haven't had storms, but that a lot can happen in between now and the end of the year. So we never know. Any questions on this first report, Commissioners? Next report is just a little bit more detailed breakdown of those respective departments and their regular salaries and overtime. Just do it on this screen. Any questions on this report here, Commissioners? Next report is 2025 year-to-date budget and activity report. Once again, we're using that 91.7% point in time of the year as our barometer to highlight those in the blue that have exceeded that at this point in time. All of these on the first page, of course, Commissioners, as you know, are in the county general fund. So it is would not be a budget violation unless the entirety of all of these departments' entire budget was over, which it is not, as it's currently at 80.45. But those highlighted in the blue, corner, it's hard to predict annually. That's a tough one to predict. Emergency management, they get received a grant, budget appropriations are what they are. It's based on the timing that they get paid out and the transfers. Any questions on that first page, Commissioners? I always like to point out to County General. It's atypically low compared to most departments there at the 29.31. That's because of the budget stabilization we have in there, Commissioners. Next page, same thing. Those highlighted in the blue are those that are in excess of that 91% point in time. Of course, Brittany did present the budget amendments a while back. Commissioners will have in the budget hearing. What day is it? Monday. For the budget amendments, knowing that some of those were at risk of being over budget, had the cash, just didn't budget enough to cover some of the unanticipated costs. Any questions on that, Commissioners? These next funds are all enterprise funds, Commissioners. Only the individuals that own property or live in those jurisdictions pay for those costs. No ad valorem tax is used in any of these. And as you can see, they're all doing pretty good right now. Any questions on those? Next report's a report we developed years ago on Commissioner's request, just kind of a snapshot comparing one year to the next, November to November, month to month, and also year to date through November. Give you a snapshot of kind of how the expenditures have gone. It's not always an apples to apples comparison, but it's a good little snapshot for Commissioners to look at and review and ask additional questions if you like. Any questions on that, Commissioners? Next report's 2025 year-to-date budget activity report. This is just a little more detailed breakdown of that county general I referred to earlier. Personnel, no personnel get paid out of this department. It is just those for separation of county service. Then the miscellaneous budget stabilization amount, which I pointed out is the reason this budget is typically atypically low compared to the other departments at the $4,250,000. Any questions on that, Commissioners? Next is RCPD expenses paid by Riley County, physician, laboratory, hospital, prescriptions. Those are typically the high ones. Building maintenance. I like this next report a little bit better. Gives a year-to-year comparison, 2021 through 25. That really gives you a snapshot of where we're at. I don't think I need to point out the physician cost, Commissioners. and we're not at year end yet. And so people wonder why taxes are going up. We can't control inmate costs. We can't control prescriptions. Statutorily, we didn't budget enough in this department for all of these costs. We're still obligated to pay them. So as you know, we had to do a transfer to cover these costs. Building maintenance is getting up there a little higher. In years past, that has been a concern. It's a large facility. When things go wrong, sometimes it's pretty costly. The inmate housing, inmate medical and prescriptions, commissioners, it is extraordinarily high. Any questions on that? Okay, next we have offsite inmate medical expenses paid by Advanced Correctional Healthcare. You can see in our pool balance, we are a negative $88,580, i.e. just referring to what I was talking about earlier. We have the facility and we have the inmates, and our population, average daily population is high, so it continues to go up. And I don't foresee that trend reducing in the near future. Meaning next year, we'll probably have to do the same thing as far as transfer monies into there and budget, spend more than what we anticipated. Any questions on that, commissioners? Okay, thank you. You go through and review them. Have any questions, just let us know. Next, commissioner, you will have Amanda Webb at 9:15. You're probably responsive. Okay.
Yeah, I'm given the things that I use, but yeah. You don't get to see. Yes. You gotta get some label. I know.
I like still having a show written on those worthy.
But I think it's, you know, it's said in the same place, but the people, it's that.
Making some progress in here.
Then national taxes and property in private has 42%, 41%.
Yeah, a little over 40,
A little over.
depending on how you look at it, 42, 43. You know,
Yeah, I just saw where be able to supply them their houses, the tax exemption with photos. You know, after the awareness abatement's up or whatever it's called, you know, they're gonna apply for it. Maybe one of the doors, but.
When Gary, when the Wareham is open, they're gonna be making money on their events.
Well, that's what it's. I found out. I don't know what. It was I think it was last week.
I don't remember
I
yesterday.
think it was last week. I found out that there's a little change. Oh, for 7 years, have been running the date here.
We had one of those a couple years.
They haven't been in property taxes. So now they are. Well, that's what we get out. And I just drove up to First Christian Church and I could see them in the got this in the old. Their tax.
Flyer, so if you've got an update.
Why? There's a debate for David, that's good. You know, man, pay your property taxes.
Yeah, Fraser's got a lot of work. Piles up on her.
And she probably, I'm assuming, just because it's Riley County. She has a lot more work than what, England County or
Sure.
some other company.
Sure. And that's,
Doesn't have as many potential practical property. I assume that.
Yeah.
I think that's something.
only the highest exemption. County.
there was one county that has the, at least where the Cheyenne Bottoms is huge. It's a very smart county. That has big tech. There's one other one that has.
It's not Cheyenne one.
Fortunately, they don't have to find too many county services out there.
Well, they get a pill from the Department of Interior that covers maybe not all of it, but a portion of it anyway.
Ready for amending commissioners?
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director. I have the short-term rental regulation amendments that we brought to you on November 17th. Everything that you're seeing as attachments are the same as what you saw before. Just to remind you, after discussion during that meeting, you folks actually tabled the item and then directed staff and legal counsel to get together to talk about a few pieces of confusing language there. So I'm going to quickly turn it over to Jacob to explain why it's back in its current form and what we have to do.
So commissioners, the process regarding amending, as far as zoning regulations go, you can find that in KSA 12757. And so this actual statute has been litigated in the Supreme Court quite a lot lately. So a lot of good literature to read as far as the intended application. One of the cases that came out recently was what a commission can do when it's presented with an amendment such as it is. Three things that commissioners can do. One is adopt the recommendation by the ordinance by resolution. Two, override the planning commission's recommendation by a 2/3 majority vote. Or three, return such recommendation to the planning commission with a statement specifying the basis for the governing body's failure to approve or disapprove. Those are the only three things that we can do, or I should say that the board can do, when presented with this billing. And so after I had my conversation with Amanda here, I do have some reservations that I would think the board should at least consider when choosing which option to proceed with. And mainly there is my biggest concern is with the first amendment here, and if I can pull or we can see it there. Regarding specifically the subpart, it says the department shall have the authority to waive the separation requirement based on the evaluation of certain circumstances, including but not limited to short-term rental units accessing two different roadways. While I agree the purpose is good, I think there needs to be criteria that need to be evaluated against, or at least stated in the subsection. And the reason why is that if you don't have stated criteria there, it really leaves an argument to be made that somebody who is evaluating these circumstances is doing it arbitrarily, right? And that certainly can be right for litigation. So with that, I recommend that we send it back to the planning commission. And you can direct my office to work on explaining that in a little bit finer detail so the planning board can take the steps they need to do next. And that's really all I have. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm happy to explain or talk a little more on any of
It's
this.
broadly.
Yeah.
I can see how that.
Yeah, and you know, the circumstances when I talked to Amanda about this too is, you know, you can develop things such as, you know, what are the main concerns that we're trying to avoid here? Congestion parking was a large one, and maybe utilization of other, you know, things within the road system. You know, we can put that in there, and that way you have something to evaluate against. You can clearly say, okay, well, we're going to grant it this time because it doesn't present this issue that we're concerned about. So if you can say that, you can get away from this concern about potentially it being unconstitutional.
I don't think we had any problem with any of these changes. It's just getting it. That's was it correct? But
Sure. So if the governing board so desires, either use that third option, like I said, of returning the recommendation to the planning commission with a statement specifying the basis for the governing body's failure to approve or disapprove, which that failure to approve or disapprove is essentially legal counsel's concern on the constitutionality of the amendment. Or of course, if you would like to proceed, you can always approve it as it's presented to you. And then the second option would be, of course, the other option, I should say, would be overriding the planning commission recommendation, which would mean you're disapproving what's being submitted to you.
see that motion anywhere.
Yeah, if you,
I didn't find it either.
yeah, I don't know if that one was included. You had the first two, but John, if you want, there is this. This is the statute, I think, here. If you want to return it.
I don't know how to word it.
Do we have to deny it first?
Yeah.
Do we have to deny it first and then some?
No, so it's just those three options. So you either approve it, you override, or you send it back.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we return such recommendation to the planning commission. The statement specifically specifying the basis for the governing body's failure to approve or disapprove.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to return this to the planning board for the reevaluation of certain clarification of certain areas. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Yeah, I'll elaborate. There was the city of Shawnee that recently had a Supreme Court case on this issue. Where the commission received the recommendation from the planning board. And they chose essentially not to do anything with it, because then the vote they had to go through the majority. That's the majority vote and override the planning commission's recommendation. And so they didn't meet the majority requirement, right? So then that just kind of left it dead in the water. There was some processes that they were supposed to do after the fact that the court enlightened us on afterwards. But these planning and zoning matters can be incredibly complicated and convoluted. So I'm happy to try to answer any questions that I can if you guys have anything as far as zoning is concerned. So I should say, yeah, well.
Commissioner, I think it's on 9:35. Listen, in the pay scale and up to salary resolution. No press conference items.
It's the planning board and actually meeting at the commission chambers. So this is,
Yeah. Maybe.
well, that's not what it says.
Oh, yeah, it says 115 West Fourth Street. This is Fourth Street. So meeting.
Meeting.
Be a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have to take on it away that are, I think they trust, they will be like what the.
Okay.
I don't know, I think. But I'll put it later. I don't stay. Yeah. Yeah. Where it's set up, or they go out to say. I would have to use it. So, 7,000. Yeah, it's like it's already in. There's already a determined, there's like there. Well, yeah, I just, you know how long Doc County That would be my decision. Yeah, I have another person we have. Yeah. Yeah, there's one that's eight. Yeah. I think some of these rates, I don't remember some of these rates set as statutorily by the legislature. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I think this one did validation. For other, yeah, I think there's other kinds of issues that were given all those things that you guys don't balance. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. This is just yeah. Oh, yeah. I see. Doesn't mean I'm sure you. Well, I have that. No. It's a tough. Yeah. Sound is stupid.
The city faces the same issue. You know,
Yeah.
Essentially, sales is vertical, so actually, well, hers is with it's actually Texas.
Yeah.
You know, essentially, I guess not, it's very well, that's starting to say, you know, immigration, so it's not an actually good it. Or the job. There's more than 2 more years, probably. It was it. There's some question on
Yeah, do those.
Got really special. It's either digital to begin with or it's stretched.
You think that hurt?
Yeah. Wanted to get back in the office.
I can't put things to start out. Dr. Mary just saw me like Thursday or Friday, and she was walking over checking, and she said it started. I said, I've stepped in there a couple of times to check, you know, and there's like one chunk of drywall to make it look like they're doing something. Yes.
What are they really busy or? I take time.
We'll say the best.
It's not really hard, it's just mostly cost of eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they can. Well, I haven't been over there a couple of weeks, did they, extend house? And they moved the old desks and stuff like that. See, John could get that, get that.
They got the desk in here. Office still.
Yeah. Debbie was
Okay,
paying
stuff. They're cut down. Yeah, but those are discipline, she's lucky, she's going, she's not as far as this. I going to rub to like, I step in, wow.
Well, they're going to have a lot of work to do in a short period of time. They're gonna send it.
Breathing.
You know.
I'm sure they've been great to work with.
Yeah.
They've been great to work with on these things too. PHS.
I would say that. The new furniture, there's so much. We can always forget, and it's certainly ways for the.
Well, it's within 60 days. Of building and stuff. It's a lot of it, yes.
See you again. Get out of. Yes. So, you know.
Told me, George. I never use it.
Good for these conferences. So,
Well, I think I should get mistakes or another cataract. So I did just, that was the only time I could get it scheduled before the end of the year. This is Jim did. Going to a different doctor this time.
oh,
And so
yeah, actually, it's
checking. The one the last. Rather had to have some surgery.
got a sibling line there.
Yes.
They got a big space there to be good.
Is it, yeah.
Just go through, they got. So we got, and there's a whole row of people, all these installs, those are the people that are really in. Wait till whatever.
Yeah, well,
She's been real happy with it.
well, and the prep work is just, I'll just get to do it by all these drops.
That's the thing, got person on that groups, obviously, several times. These once a day, these other things 2 a day, these 3 a day, you know.
Whole thing laid out.
That's what
Spare baths.
I can't wait till, because I can't put costs for that. So it's.
Oh, really?
It's probably. They have to do that, so today is gonna be. As I said, I've got very minor, but I haven't changed in the last 5 or 6 years, that's just. Why, and it's a. That's what it's, it says, yeah, the last I've got for years and I said. And the one, also thinking about.
See really well. This one is, now it's causing trouble. Because it's,
That's what Jane did, because she had,
I waited. Didn't want to see that.
did one, this, she had to get glasses with just, some glasses.
That's like.
And now she does this because she got. Better getting this thing. Well,
Your side is,
we got one of them, so she says reading glasses, just.
as far side.
Drugs, and it's the laying all over the house.
I'm really like. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll go well, but it can't, it's right in the middle. It's easy to wait till. You have to start the roof of the 90 days. Well,
Good morning, Commissioners. Elizabeth Ward, Human Resources Director, and I'm here to talk to you, to present, the 2026 pay scale implementation and resolutions. You have the car in front of you with kind of the background information, but I would like to say that the employees of Riley County are grateful to the commissioners for committing to market competitive salaries I also think that at Riley County, one of the things to keep in mind is that we are very grateful and fortunate to have long-serving employees with years of experience and specialized knowledge. I would remind the commissioners, as you know already, that the market value of comparable jobs is both public and private sectors. And so that has been compared in our entire region, not necessarily in one type of job, but in these transferable skills that our employees have. So our employees would have the opportunity to transfer their skill sets, both private or public, if they determined no longer to stay at Riley County. And so that's some of the considerations that we have taken into account over the last couple of years when we created the salary study, implemented the pay scales that go along with that. And then this year's resolution reflects both the COLA, which we know inflation has not been our friend in the last several years, and merit increases for those employees meeting the expectations of Riley County supervisors and managers. And so obviously I would stand for questions if you had anything else that you would, like to be informed about.
So I know that you're very, very careful in getting the right people to work for.
We are.
And, I know the job descriptions are extensive for the non-elected heads of departments. And we put a lot of confidence in our people that we've hired. And I think it's important that we keep up with the pay schedule that you've outlined to keep those people in our organization so that everything runs efficiently.
Yeah, I agree with you, Commissioner, and it's important to remember that salaries as a whole have been on a wild train ride since COVID. Things have changed drastically. It just is the way it is. I can't say that I think it's good, bad, or ugly, but our economy is different than it was previously.
Yeah, and all our department heads are required to live in Raleigh County, so they, their cost of living is a little higher than say if they lived in another county.
Yes, that is a fact. All of our department heads do live in Riley County, and really the vast majority, I don't have a percentage for you, but the vast majority of all of our employees live within Riley County, and I definitely could look that up if it was relevant.
Actually, I do think that's relevant.
Yeah, we don't require other employees, but I know I can tell you 100% of the department heads are required.
On the merits, we've got there's a chart somewhere.
Mhm.
Is there a limit on the top end of those merits after so many years, and I don't remember which.
Yeah, it's,
I tried to find, I
No,
thought
you're
there was, the merits only go up to so many years, isn't that correct?
they do, they go to 6.
No.
No, you're talking on the actual pay scale. Yes, there is a limit at 16 years of experience. Yeah. And it's a small percentage of our employees that are at that limit because when you approve the pay scale, we approved mid-level, even for those who had been in service for longer. And so we pulled people back. Otherwise, it would have been even more drastic if we based it on their actual years of service to Riley County. I mean, as you know, we have people who've been working in Riley County for decades, which I think is important as well, because if you look at the whole picture of comparable salaries, you cannot take a brand new county clerk, for example, and compare it to someone who's been in the job for, Rich, I always misquote you, 24 years? How many years as clerk?
29.
29, yeah. So, I mean, that's a different kind of situation as well. And so we try to get the right range and then we place the experience and specialization in that range. And there is a limit.
Any questions?
No, I tend to agree. I mean, it's a matter of keeping people at this point in time. Our market rate is what it is. I think I'm an employee outside here. I would prefer to get something out of that each year and every year, just like anybody else would, and the same thing applies. We don't take care of the people that we have, we won't have them. The services that are being rendered won't be rendered appropriately. That's what you're looking at. that's just the reality of it. Hopefully, it's been, we did all this in what, 22? So it's been about a 3-4 year process.
Yes.
Now we're just trying to keep up with the changes. We're not even really getting out ahead of it. I don't think we're in the top 90 percentile. We're down somewhere around 75%.
Yeah.
So we're not even living at the very, very top of it. That may be unadvantageous at some particular point in time too. I don't know, but the cost of everything continues to go up, and costs to keep good quality people are gonna unfortunately be part of that. And weigh that out, or weigh the opposite out of not having those individuals, and people won't be happy about the services that won't be rendered.
I think you've highlighted the crux of it. It is a very hard decision and a very hard spot to be in. Both sides are pushing.
Yeah, what is, I know the cost of, turnover is really high. I know you presented that to us before. What is the cost of, that it costs us when we have people leave to other jobs?
What is the process?
Yeah, well, what is the percentage of, what does it cost us percentage wise to lose a person?
Yeah. So there's all kinds of studies on this, and they kind of vastly range, but generally we project 50% of their annualized salary.
50.
Yeah, turnover. And so turnover is where we want to literally focus and save any type of financial resources we have. And I know we talked about it just a couple of days ago in my presentation. We were at 10.3% turnover if we took out those kind of seasonal and as needed jobs. I don't have a feeling that that's high for other counties, but it's not low either. So I think there's some things we can do there. We're trying to drill down into, departments. Is there support we can give supervisors? I don't want to just throw up our hands and say this is a generational thing, but you all know as well that since COVID, people, no matter what your age, move. There's a lot more movement. There's much fewer people staying at a career at one employer. And we try to do exit surveys for exit interviews for every person. We don't currently do them in person. We do them via like an email system through Paylocity. So, some insights that we can get in there. You also know we did implement the onboarding program this year. So that 30, 60, 90 touch base, and that is focused on retention. So that is trying to make sure that we get with the employee early, give them their expectations, keep them engaged, get them on board with their supervisors and Riley County. That's a focus we want to keep pushing on.
Now, all the non-elected employees have job descriptions that are online where people are curious about what everybody's doing.
So no, our job descriptions are not online. They're not private. We would share them with anyone, but they're just not easily accessed online. They're all within our W Drive for any county employee. So yeah, if people would like to see those job descriptions, I'm more than happy to send them out. Yeah, pay scale information is the same, like Greg just asked about the pay scale, and, I can send that out. That's the public knowledge. It's been presented with the pay scales and budgets. It's not in this packet though.
Because that's important for people to, if they have questions on the salaries, to take a look at what the department heads actually do.
Yeah.
And, and compare that with maybe some of the counties.
Yeah. We always focus on the knowledge, skills, and abilities, and then the responsibility level within our organization of how much, that person has to carry to lead the organization. And that's what we would then compare to other jobs that are similar in our region. So that's a really good point. Yeah, I'd be happy to make those available to anyone.
as I look through most of these, we're in a lot of these are right about the mid-range, just a little bit under, just a little bit over. Or have really been reaching the maximum. That's developed with our own scale, which is three years old now.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's because some of these positions are newer, new people, have the experience or the full qualifications just yet too, so. Yeah, something we'll also take into consideration.
Yeah, we've had some turnover, but if you look at like, if we compare in the market, our attorney salaries were, for example, not to pick out them, but they could 1.5, if not double their salary in the private industry. So we have to think about that because that is a difficult job to fill. Our treasurer is very similar, has the same skill sets as a chief financial officer in any corporation. That's a skill set that we really need to make sure that we have accuracy in. As we move through these department directors, the health department director, all of these positions, the public works engineer. Again, that's another area, we recently, in the last 5 years, recruited both of our engineers. And if they wanted to go in the private sector, would have been able to earn more financially. So we have to offer the benefits and we have to offer purpose, but we do have to be able to give them a comparable cost of living that they would have if they took their skills elsewhere.
I think there was a question raised, we sent an email I got that about all the attorneys that are in the assistant county attorneys that would be in the county attorney's office. I know they're really busy over there. You walk in there and there's, tons of work going on.
Relates to the fact that the jail is overcrowded.
It does. It does. I saw the comments as well. And then just about like the other side of it. So the prosecution and the rehab side of, criminals in our community and people who need to make some different choices. These folks would say that they have not enough attorneys and the caseload and trying to get them through. And then the jails show it because we can't process them through. So I understand it seems like a lot, but that is the state of our county. And I don't think that's any different in other counties either. I mean, a lot of the counties, I won't want to say a lot, most, but a lot of them have shortages in that area, aren't able to fill their attorney positions.
I might just throw in a little bit, considering that's my profession. When we're talking about rural attorneys, there's an incredible shortage. You're going to hear a lot, and our state is looking at doing something about it. But just to give some context, I have seen a position over in Saline County for a county attorney is well over a year, and with a $10,000 relocation incentive to get people there. The fact of the matter is there's just not that many attorneys that are going to come out to these areas, especially because you look at an hourly rate of an attorney, especially at least maybe the work that I do, I can say you could easily fill it, and that's all loaded. And that cost is going to very easily.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, I suppose, when we're talking at least about, I can speak about the attorney positions.
And if Barry were here, he's told you previously, but the number of attorneys graduating, so even coming into the labor market, is decreased steadily. And so we don't see that being something that's going to change in the future. It's going to get tighter.
Yeah. That was a question that did come up. Would be good to.
And those I have sat over in some of their trials. Those are open to the public, and it's fascinating to watch them do their job.
Sat in on a few of them in criminal cases. It's amazing.
It is.
Excellent job.
Cool.
pulling up on, so sorry here.
On the back page.
Okay, and I will make a motion to approve the proposed 2026 pay scales. Pay scale rates for the 2026 payroll year effective December 20th.
Yes, sir.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to include the proposed 2026 pay scales and pay scale rates for the 2026 payroll year effective December 20th, 2025. All in favor? Aye.
Greg, I think this is the chart you were talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I found out.
Yeah.
That's what I was-
Yeah, so they does have a max on it. And then obviously the salary people are this hourly rate by 80. So it's all based off of this, even though we don't pay everyone hourly.
Based on this.
Commissioners, I appreciate the difficulty of that decision and thank you on behalf of Riley County employees.
Except for this. Just for clarity. Well, I mean, they're running up here before you started.
The other one,
Establish student salaries for certain elected and appointed officials and other professional positions around Kansas.
so moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, to approve the, was it certain elected personnel salaries? All in favor?
Commissioners, next is Amanda Webb, past her time, so. Yes, sorry, thank you. All three.
Not even a little bit. See you guys in summer.
Pretty good, some heat. She's gonna
Yeah.
be the huge side.
Yeah.
Overall.
So many things getting close.
No,
Each is her or the.
Keys.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. It's.
Yeah, yeah. We're almost there. All right, thank you. Good morning again, Commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director, here with our weekly report on Riley County Together, our comprehensive plan. This should, in theory, be the last update I give you because next Thursday is on your agenda is to actually adopt the plan. So hopefully we'll get that taken care of. So last Monday evening, the Manhattan Urban Area Planning Board held their required public hearing on the plan update. They received no comments from the public and they moved to forward a recommendation of approval to you folks. Tonight, we are having the Riley County Planning Board public hearing. It's actually, I know the agenda your agenda for some reason says it's going to happen back in your commission chambers, but all of our meetings happen here, same place you folks meet is where we meet. So that'll be here this evening at 7 o'clock. We'll have that public hearing. We have a few other items on the agenda too, but if anybody wants to come out for that public hearing, we'll do that this evening. And then pending all of that and assuming that goes well, again, it'll be before you folks next Thursday, the 18th at 10:30 to hopefully get the plan adopted and complete the process for this year.
this last few years, I'm not sure. Again, the draft is available on our website. It's the one that went up just before Thanksgiving, but we have combed through it again, and there are a few more comments that we're gonna provide to Stantec. We have a meeting with them later this morning, just to go over that kind of last round. Most of it's still holdovers from the last round of comments we provided them. A lot of it also has to do with just some of the layout of the document, just need things kind of moved around, clarified, map colors changed, things like that. Just a little bit with content, but for the most part, it's just kind of some of the look and layout of the document. So anything else we get from public hearing tonight, of course, will be we'll notify Stantec and that they'll get that incorporated. They'll take the rest of this week to get all of that put together, and then we'll have a fresh draft that we'll post as soon as we get that. And then that will be the one that will come before you folks next Thursday for review and again, hopeful adoption. Any questions on the process that we've gone through or where we are right now? Okay. So the other thing I've been thinking about, once we get the plan adopted and we're moving forward, just a reminder too, we use this plan all the time. We use our comprehensive plan. It doesn't just sit on a shelf. And I do think that's an important thing to note again, just so folks are aware, we do utilize this plan. So it's been a really important process, that we want to make sure we get right. So Kansas statute does require us to review it annually, review and make any updates as needed. And that goes through, of course, the planning board and to you folks. Probably what I'm thinking for this first year, at least a little bit, is we're going to do it a little bit more in depth than we kind of have done in the past. Usually what we've done is bring the executive summary to the planning boards, because that kind of, of course, summarizes everything. The different actions and whatnot. And that's again, in our current plan, Vision 2025. Make sure everything's still comfortable and working for them. And that's the process we go through. Probably since we have a whole new plan that we've been working on these last few years, we want to make sure, again, we're going to use it over the next year. We're going to, again, then take a look at it a little bit more in depth again and make sure, is this what we heard from the community? Is this working for us? Is this reflecting everything properly? Have we heard comments from folks after, it's done this year, but going forward, have we heard from folks, hey, this is confusing, or hey, maybe that's not quite, what we wanted, or, can we consider something else? So we just want to make sure we take all of that in and make changes as needed. So just wanted to note that that's kind of my intention for later next year, probably in the fallish. So we'll kind of open it a little bit again. We won't go through the whole process we did these last couple of years, but again, we want to look at a little bit more in depth, especially since it'll be a new plan for us, and just make sure it's working. So any questions or comments on that? All right, so that's about all I had, just a brief one this morning. So happy to answer any questions or hear any comments you might have. And otherwise, we'll see you on next Thursday to get this done. So thank you.
Next, Commissioner, you have John Ellerman at 10:10. Good weekend.
Also, it's not sad.
Is that expiring?
You had a chance to look over the one. So, yeah. Well, then we get, yeah. I haven't got any. Okay. The agenda is, they're gonna revise it after.
There's some kind of. Grandfather working on it.
Oh, really?
So, we got, it comes to the sheet, we got, I've been in good months.
Really?
Probably said, Dr. Jennifer, she's good. Well, you mean, what we're gonna do, because. I have a shawl that should be, so it's really exciting to have. So, but wouldn't, they accept. Things. I thought I was, if it was something down.
Oh, goodness.
It wouldn't have true, but so she was gonna work on today. Send enough back today to get it figured out. That's it, I mean, so give me a example. I'm registered. I'm registered.
You signed.
Sign. You got a registered sign. They want to get some. So. Proof of that. Proof of the difference.
It's crazy. Some of this stuff is just getting me out of hand.
It happened. It's
It's the best way to get up to university.
Yeah, we got this.
So, you know.
We got that. We had to go up to this University Park Road, there's nothing goes back there.
Have it, but now, say, Lakeview Drive. 110, no, it's just. 10987 Lakeview Drive.
It's once you get in there, it's.
I haven't been up
Yeah,
that
it was-
road.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too.
It's University Park Road, typically go in ways, and then that's. What's that Highland Drive, or it's off of that.
Oh,
It's University Park Road doesn't actually go into University Park.
well, I have
It
to,
goes across here, it keeps going into whatever this.
so,
But there's a big sign, because this is paved, and this is not, so it's obvious here, it should go up.
you go up the paved road,
And the fire station is right here.
right, yeah, once I get up there, I, one time I was going up that direction, I got off on the non-paved road.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Yeah, there's some. You can see there's just a few little chairs and it's probably some spelling.
And that's where we've got those.
And there's a few scattered houses in there.
With this one house. One back here, one here.
That's where we've had this problem. No, that's.
White cans and.
Oh, yeah.
You can see, open there. There's that old shores with the house there. There's some back there. Yeah. This is the same, all of this here, and there's two houses. Just happens and just.
They're platted real strange.
Yeah, you're here on a big sign that says University Park this way.
And then it's on the.
One big sign says University Park Road.
I'll just try not to miss that.
So the roundabouts are open.
Are they open on them?
Back down to 20 minutes to get in the park instead of.
This is something about it this morning, but I didn't.
Yeah, they're open on Friday, I think.
I've seen something this
Thursday.
I've been out there.
Unannounced because I'm sure you will have it, you know, I knew it was open and then Friday morning coming to work, I went and got tomorrow night, I thought, at least forgot. I was, well, I got the. Well, yeah, that helps. That helps something.
No, it's kind of confusing on radio. They said, of course, they said they were open and then they said, well, they're gonna be opening in the spring one. Which is it?
Second. Yeah, like the first of the year, I think you're down there instead of there.
And then they go between the two ones. Not long, between, I didn't finishing works, but yeah, it's good. They got, so. Especially, I've been through that a little bit, especially one at the dam, that was the. That each one was in the thing.
I never got that one, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I drove up there just to see what it was. Yes.
Try to go through it. It's almost as bad as Anderson.
I haven't been to Anderson in weeks.
Made the mistake of going in there after just last week. That I went back.
Sometimes.
Nighttime is really tough because you can't see really well going through the. And the roads, I mean, if you're dodging potholes, then you're in trouble.
It was fun.
They were trying to go around about. They have to go around about.
They keep saying, oh, they've sent them around. They've already let the contract and then there's some around it being a new contract.
Where's this at?
On Anderson.
Oh,
Anderson in front of the foundation buildings. They talked about how to do the roundabout. Thinking, why are the contracts?
They're being worked on that.
I was like, that would be shooting their bids there.
Oh, no.
Well, in Barbara Hills, roads can have no, you're gonna. That's the light flash with that. I'll see you make.
Oh, really?
College comes to the church says, well, I'm not selling.
Yeah.
And all those houses on the other side, they was about that happens.
All of these. So. And take care of the person. Finally, it's. I'd rather drive on.
You wouldn't have that snow, or it's muddy.
Yeah.
It's not dirt right now, though,
But yeah, it's pretty wet.
but. And what's something else, that one rat, buses.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
Hey, good morning, Commission. John Ellerman, Public Works, with my monthly update. We'll skip through some of these. Not a whole lot's movement on Winkler Roads. We're trying to get, hopefully I keep hoping we're getting closer and closer, but Marlat Road, I do have some sketches or ideas, schematic drawings from contractor and a little bit of a traffic study for turn movements on College and Browning. See how we want to handle turning lanes and stuff in that area. And so when you get that reviewed and get that back with them for them to continue on with their design. Courthouse Plaza East windows, substantially complete. They'll be sending us the final payment, our final bill, and substantially complete. I think all we really have left is the scheduled time with TK Elevator and BHS to be able to get in the elevator shaft to cover up that window. It won't pass inspection the way it is, so, and why it was put in there, who knows? But we need to get in there and cover that up, seal that window from the elevator shaft. And then that's the last piece that's left on that one. Elevators should be all complete. Should be, unless someone tells me something different, they should all be done, all been inspected already and good to go. We had our kickoff meeting for the judicial services study last week. Just letting the architects and their sub know what our expectations are and how we're starting to schedule that to come in. So I did get everybody there, Barry and Judge Bannister and Megan all got in the same room together, so that was a good deal. We have interviews the 14th and the 16th for the health department study to find that consultant. And so we're working on getting that close, getting close to getting that one started too. Airport road culvert replacement, that's good. That's a sales tax project that Riley County crews are going to do. So one of the first steps into it, it's still kind of, I think we got the design, getting ready to order or bid out the steel for it. We did install a shoe fly. The current structure wasn't strong enough to hold up a cement truck and some of the grain trucks that were going in there, and they're going to build, the neighbors are building a house back there, so they were concerned about this bridge. So we went ahead and built the shoe fly, got that up and running, and it's ready to go for probably, we're looking at hopefully March, April to start building that structure. Parks crew, of course, winter times, mowing out to last minute, picking up leaves whenever the weather's holding out. They've been working on irrigation lines at different places and had shut off the water last few months. Working the landscape beds. The whole crew last week, Wednesday, Thursday, went to Kansas Turf and Landscape Conference. It was here in town, so they didn't have to do any travel. I think they like, at least most of them like, if someone like to attend that while it's here. Get some good education on what to do. The operations, the other crews worked on cleaning ditches and shouldering various roads. Of course, we had snow on Monday last week. That gave us a good idea and a practice run for the season. I hope that's the only run, but then maybe just a practice run start. They're all working on evaluations. Gravel crew were grading roads where they had some moisture, doing some crack sealing and other places where weather was cold enough and not too warm, but not too icy or cold. So other crews were trimming some trees back on, I think, Wallsburg Road, and picked up a big limb that fell across the road around Pillsbury Crossing area. We have been working with G-Works to replace our Pub Works program, our asset management and cost accounting for Public Works. Pub Works is going away, and so G-Works is one that bought them up. So we're trying to get everything converted into their new program and see how that works for us. I will have one open position at the end of the at the end of the year here, a custodian. We've been advertising it, have a couple good applications. Now just trying to work around holiday and time off to get them interviewed. Emergency management remodel, some of the new pavement in the parking lot has been placed. Actually, they're parking on it today. Some of the floor in the inside where the EOC is going to go has been removed and replaced. And lost my place. They should be beginning to start frame walls. They took out the old driveway and the slab in front now. As weather holds it, or if we get some good weather, they'll probably pour it when they can. IT GIS remodel. Baker McMillan's doing the design, and they're working on the final ideas with Corey and his staff on what they want, how they want it laid out. And they're working on cost estimates and stuff for us, so we get all about what it should cost when we get into doing the remodel. Some of the big things going to be in there is moving the server room over and checking the roof and stuff for the ability to locate a generator up there on the roof of the third floor. Chamber remodels kicked off last week for sure. They've been doing some, but probably ripped out the ceiling tiles. We removed the little stub walls in your office where the shelving was in between the shelf. We got those taken out. And I think the carpet and that's coming up next. So they're getting started on doing that. We have, let's see on here. And that's about all I've got on here. KAC, of course, is this week. I'll be gone for that. And I'm planning on taking that few days here before Christmas, that week before Christmas off too. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, John. Next, we don't 25, they were at your meetings.
Far away. What was you here?
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Jacob Hanson, Riley County Councilor here. Just a couple updates. One that maybe we haven't talked about in some time, of course, is our search for district coroner. We're trying to get that in place, of course, at the beginning of the year. And Michael's been working on that project for the most part. Now, the good news is it's a bit of an archaic process if you don't recall. We have to kind of field nominations from the local medical society, and that's per statute to get our district coroner. So it's been a real task to find this local medical society, and it's been, I wouldn't say defunct, but perhaps a little old and untouched for quite some time. But we've had some good progress. We have gotten contact with a couple of folks. I know there's been some interest from some individuals over in Saline County in potentially throwing their hat in for the district coroner. So we hope to have that in front of you guys very soon so we can make sure we got a district coroner in place by the start of the new year. I'll also note, we have our Keats easements issued that we continue to pursue. I anticipate by next session on Monday, there will be a resolution before you folks to go ahead and use our eminent domain powers in order to pursue temporary construction easements for that project. So that will be coming your way, ideally for Monday next week. So far we have, I believe it's about 4 properties. There are, you could say, at least 3 of them have been in contact with, and more or less it's just maybe a lack of urgency on their part, not necessarily a disagreement with the purpose, perhaps just not getting there. We've been talking about, easements with these folks for well over 2 to 3 months here. So, you know, in order to try to make sure we stay on task and on the timeline, we just need to go ahead and get this done one way or the other. And that's where it kind of leaves us. And again, just to kind of give you, I guess, a brief preview, this is for temporary construction easements. This is not a permanent taking of any land. There shouldn't be any costs associated with it. It's for the benefit of the landowner themselves. And the purpose, again, of the temporary construction easement is to put in their sewer line that goes from the sewer main to their house. And it's also to decommission the private, the septic system that they have as well, which is all covered under the total project cost. So, you know, they're not, it's not any extra cost for them, for the landowners, for us to come out and do these things. It's really a win-win. And so that's just, again, that's what we're looking at doing as far as the temporary construction easements go for Keats project. Let's see, my office has had a number of contracts to review. You know, we have a trial here at the end of the month for our criminal nuisance abatement case. One of the longer standing ones that we've had here in the county. And in fact, one that we were successful in a civil suit a number of years ago. But in order to utilize Senate Bill 384, it has to be criminal conviction. So we're getting to go through that process again. And Michael and I have been ramping up our preparation and to make sure that it's done correctly and we get that done here for the county. Also, good news is regarding criminal nuisance abatement. We did enter in a diversion agreement with one of the properties right off of what's that highway going south to I-70? Why is that? 177. Thank you. 177 there. We've entered in a diversion agreement. They have until March of next year to remediate the property. The landowner's already done really a substantial amount of work and getting in compliance. So, you know, we've got some real good results from this, and I'm happy to report that. Everything else I would say is somewhat business as usual as it goes for my office, but it's not too usual. Any questions I can help answer, or I should also know, I forgot to mention the First Christian Church RFP that we put out recently. There was the initial walkthrough that was scheduled for December 1st. Unfortunately, that was the same day that the snow decided to come as well. So John, of course, was there to help anybody get in if there was anybody that showed up, but predictably, nobody did. We have the December 10th as our next walkthrough. So anybody who's interested in that RFP can show up there. I believe it starts at 9, but you might want to check the RFP documents to make sure. Is it 8? I'm not. Double check the RFP documents on the time, but it's December 10th is when the next one is going to be. So anybody interested in that, there's that information. And now with that, I don't have anything else to add unless you guys have questions. Very good. Thank you.
AC.
What's that?
AC tomorrow.
Yeah, there's one down tonight.
Yeah.
You're not going.
No, I have to have surgery.
It's the morning.
That's not different. No,
The gala. You're not going to the game.
That's tomorrow.
it's
Is that tomorrow night?
our big, they're pretty support submitting rule. Catherine kicked all of her tails. 1-4. Greg and John both 1.5. They split one. Last but not least was Jacob and myself. So I am convinced that Catherine has a bookie. You can't tell me different.
I tell you, I pull them out of the air. I don't know.
For the sports experts, don't want anything, right? So. I was bad too, so.
What is
This
it?
season certainly didn't go the way any of us anticipated, that's for sure.
I certainly not going to try and predict this basketball.
Oh, Lord.
Well, it might be getting easier.
Well.
Supposed to go 190.
Fine.
I predict we'll score 100.
Well, you wanna wait on that breakfast?
Yeah, it's gotta be a chef.
I don't care.
And, the notification thing, yeah. Okay.
So if they score 100, you buy me breakfast, is that what we're?
Right.
Sure.
And if you don't, guess who's buying me breakfast?
Is that all of us or just you?
Big breakfast eater too.
We'll put 4 more players behind the bench to motivate it just a little bit, right?
They're not shooting for.
Yes, J.O. was there.
Nico Williams is now the credit manager of Valor. And Jordan Rodriguez is working for Shamrocks in Kansas City, so we're making sure they're behind the bench every game. To yell just a little bit. They're gonna go Frank Martin, so get ready.
Yeah, there you go.
Because they both played under Frank. We'll see what happens.
We'll do something.
Yeah. Girls won.
Yeah,
They did.
Nice.
They're coming along, yeah.
Last second shot.
Well, unfortunately, our women's volleyball team ran up against that undefeated Big Red Nebraska football.
Well, now we know where we need to be, don't we?
Nebraska traditionally just
They've been
for a long time.
Yeah, that was pretty good though.
Years. You know, our team was good, but that Nebraska team is a new level. I think even compared to previous years. Yeah, undefeated.
So supposedly that coach, she had a contract with her alma mater, Nebraska, opened up, to get leave. That any consequences that coach you got now. That was in her contract. So as soon as he got retired, she was headed to the break. She played with her.
Makes sense.
And I didn't have anything to do with Colin Klein, so.
So you're
Glad he's here.
blind
For
there.
sure.
I
Standing there with
That's all I can tell you. First night, I told Bill Snyder in the tunnel the other night, the other day, Saturday, I said, it looks like we got a young Bill Snyder. Or that.
Yeah, what it's gonna take, probably.
Yeah,
You should get a hurry, don't just try to follow him.
we had a young Bill Snyder at one time. He was very good when he started.
Yeah, it was you.
40 years
I don't
ago.
think it's gonna Colin.
No, agreed. But yeah, don't do it. The Nebraska Scott Frosty on us.
Well, there's just, I think there's a little different character in this guy.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. He's excited, he knows his wife in charge of the household, so he's pretty well grounded.
So you and him are similar.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of kids.
He does. Young ones
Four little
too.
boy or 3
Mhm.
boys and 1 little girl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, little girl was just like her mom. Okay. And I didn't know Gary Spain was that tall. He was there, he's like 6'3" or something.
Yeah, he's big.
I thought he was always short.
Big guy.
Nice guy. I think the one, let's see. The second boy is the one I'm getting stock in. Colin saying he's athlete. Because I asked Colin which one was athlete, but I want my stock. Yeah, Mike Seiler, Inga, I need my stock with their kids. I don't know, they tell kids not for kids.
Sons early in IL.
Yeah. You never start too early on that, I guess, yeah.
I don't know what up the cap on, like they do that, but
They're gonna have
it would
to.
be the least to do. A cap that we know about, you don't know about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, then the other part is maybe the bag man after that.
You don't know about. Yeah, all the NFL teams are capped. And then the other thing they need to cap is these NFL agents dropping down to college level. The NFL will cap them at 3%, that's all we make. But they can drop down and call themselves a marketing rep and make 15 to 20% college. And so those guys are experts, and so that's driving it in all, I think that's pretty hard to.
But at least they got the kids' best interest in mind.
Sarcasm.
So, you know, the acres they can get. Patrick Holmes acres,
Oh, really?
how convenient.
Hmm.
And I think the Chiefs might have played too many games and, you know, and they're all good.
Definitely.
I'm trying to figure out how many more games they play the rest of the NFL teams. In their run they had, they've had to be 15 or 24 games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't bring up Chiefs around Jacob, he's in mourning.
Hey,
I'm past the denial stage of this.
Denver fan for the rest of the season.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, better than the Raiders fan though.
Yeah, that's true. How even that? Any day.
Raiders
Now,
got,
you know, on that Denver team. Deuce Falls on that Denver team, didn't he?
Is it really?
Too. He's trying to stop it, it's not.
Okay.
yeah.
Like the damn team.
And Tyler the Raider, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bill Dallas.
Yeah.
He got hurt of it. That's all that.
Yeah, he's been. There it is.
That's the first one, did you ever? Or second one.
The second, because with the snow on the first, they decided not to scare anybody and do the test that day, so they pushed it to today. This is the test for it's Friday. So. So many tests.
My dog will be out there howling.
We had to hurry on that stove to make any money melt too fast.
He did.
Well, I told people I like to sell stuff by the ounce. Which means you get a cold night, it freezes, it's got the salt on it. I like that better. Sell it by the ounce.
Do we have anything else? No. Okay, no, I was gonna make a motion to we adjourn the December 8th meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the December 8th meeting of the Raleigh County Commission. All in favor?